I have some more wishful thinking to report to everybody today. Take a look at this headline from The Hill. Kasich leads Trump among likely GOP primary voters. Yeah, okay. So this is an American research group poll, and it found that if the New Hampshire Republican presidential primary were held today, Kasich would get 52%, and Trump would receive just 40%. Now, what did I tell you guys yesterday when there were all the murmurs in Washington, D.C. about, maybe Republicans are planning an anti-Trump coup, and they're gonna take him down in 2020, and they're gonna get a more favorable establishment candidate. What did I tell you? I told you that this is basically the few remaining GOP elites, the neocons, certain neocons who still don't like Donald Trump, haven't realized that, hey, he's going to do whatever the hell you want anyway. This is the next step in their wishful thinking tour. So it started out with, he'll never actually run. Then he ran. He'll never win a primary. He won a primary. Okay, but he'll never win multiple primaries. He won multiple primaries. Okay, but he'll never win the nomination. He won the nomination. Okay, but he'll never win the presidency. He won the presidency. And now they're like, yeah, but he'll never win a second term. Well, I'll tell you what. That's still a coin toss as to whether or not he'll win the second term. But here's what's not a coin toss. There's no Republican who's going to take him down, in a primary in 2020. Please, spare me. Don't be ridiculous. If there are some extenuating circumstances where he has to step aside or something else happens, well, then, yeah, it's conceivable you have a different Republican who takes over because they have to. But bar that happening, this is all just wishful thinking. And notice, the primary's just in New Hampshire. So in other words, you go, like, all right, let's go to the place where Kasich does the best and ask about him there and see how Trump does. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Go figure out what the other 49 states are up to. Donald Trump curb-stomped his opponents in the primary. People don't remember that. That it wasn't close. It wasn't like, oh, man, neck and neck, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. No, Ted Cruz was a distant second. A distant second. So when you talk about Mississippi and Alabama and Nevada and all these other places, like, no, there's not John Kasich, Mr. Faux moderate mealy-mouthed, Mr. Magoo. He's a weird dude, man. He only has appeal in a very narrow section of the Republican Party, whereas Trump's bombast and arrogance and I'm gonna get it done, I'm a fake straight shooter mentality. I mean, that resonated. It resonated. You're not gonna topple Trump with Kasich. They act like Kasich wasn't already in the race. He was in the race, and he got owned. He got destroyed. It was embarrassing. I mean, you had Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, and John Kasich who would, brag about getting second place to this reality star buffoon in various caucuses and primaries. They'd be like, oh, yeah, see, I did well. Oh, I'm on track here to maybe do well in one or another primary and then continue to get my ass handed to me. But, see, I'm doing well. John Kasich. Only DC elitists in their wildest dreams can really believe, no, seriously, if we run Kasich in 2020, he'll take down Trump. Yeah, he'll definitely take down Trump. And remember how I told you guys one of the main anti-Trump Republicans, Bill Kristol, is behind a lot of this stuff? He's the one who's started floating these rumors, and among other, establishment Republicans, David Frum, where they said, I heard Mike Pence, I heard he's planning behind the scenes to run against Trump maybe in 2020 and to split from Trump. If something happens with Trump, he's ready to take over the reins, and they're doing contingency planning, and yeah, there's a big anti-Trump coup going on. I told you how Kristol was the source of a lot of that. Well, guess what? Bill Kristol created this, or floated the idea of creating this committee, and the committee is to not renominate the president. God, he's so sad. He's such a loser. He's such a loser. Oh, my God. Look, man, you guys want to take down Trump, Bill Kristol, and all the other neocons and the certain segments of the establishment Republicans who think like no, we could do better, like this was a fluke that he won and stuff. Okay, so why don't you run? Bill Kristol, go ahead, run. You've been involved in politics your entire life. You know, you were a Bush administration lackey. You're one of the guys who said the Iraq war is going to be amazing. It's going to be great. They're going to greet us as liberators. The oil's going to pay for the war. We're going to be in and out super quick. This is going to be, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a great idea. Okay, so Bill, if you think your ideas are that great, run. David Frum, you think your ideas are that great? Run. They're not going to do it. Why wouldn't they do it? Because they're jokes. They're jokes. Trump is also a joke, don't get me wrong. But he's a joke that resonated enough to win. You're not going to get that from John Kasich. You're not going to get that from Bill Kristol. Bill Kristol is the guy who, after Trump had already got the nomination, he was like, well, what if maybe Mitt Romney can run as like an independent and do well and win? Yeah, I think Romney would win. Right, Bill Kristol. Yeah, he has his finger on the pulse of the American people. Yeah. They want another robotic billionaire establishment douchebag. That's great. At least with Trump, by the way, he is a billionaire douchebag. But he wasn't robotic, and he did a lot of fake populism, which is why he got elected. And that's actually the main reason why guys like Kristol were against Trump and still to this day are not very fond of Trump, even though Trump is now doing a lot of what Kristol wants, is that Trump was like, you know, we're not going to cut Social Security and Medicare. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We're going to do infrastructure spending. We're going to do an infrastructure deal. It's going to be tremendous. We're going to stop fighting the stupid wars. That's when Trump lost Bill Kristol. So this is all, it's just wishful thinking among establishment Republicans. Why would you even do a poll? Kasich versus Trump in New Hampshire. Is there anybody out there who knows anything about politics who really thinks if you primary Trump in 2020 and have John Kasich against him, that Kasich has a snowball's chance in hell? He doesn't. He would get so completely destroyed, it would be hilarious. It would be like the first time around. Now, again, I get it. Trump's approval rating plummeting. No doubt about that. But even with his approval rating among 30% of the country, that's the hardcore Republican base. The Republican base are the ones who are never going to abandon him. And in a Republican primary, you have the Republican base voting. So there's no way he would lose a primary to John Kasich or Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz or anybody else. He already proved that, but how soon they forget. And this also shows there's no potency to their ideas. Again, to be clear, Trump has no potency either. He's just a really good con man and could sell a vision, which is the polar opposite of what he's actually pushing for in terms of policy. But there's no there for guys like, Kristol and the establishment wing of the Republican Party. So they resort to like just wishful thinking and cheating and sleazy tricks. Oh, maybe Pence is going to run again. Maybe we're going to have John Kasich. Oh, John Kasich 2020, that'll work, right? No, it'll be just like every other goddamn prediction you made, where you made an ass of yourself, and it's impossible to get more wrong.